Thomas.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, Mr. Prime Minister, Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year, Ken. What a pleasure to see you. What a pleasure to be visiting virtually here. I'm really glad to hear about SuperChefs and glad to meet you guys.
Well, excellent. Well, I want to then introduce Dr. Greg Chang, who started SuperChefs, or at least its forerunner, about 20 years ago. I'm just finding this out myself. The whole idea, as you've seen in your briefing, was to build food and nutrition literacy with the younger kids, which is a very cool thing to do. But of course, certainly at home in Surrey, having a great summer program is just a godsend to the parents, right? Because the kids aren't at home, blazing out in front of video games all day, and they're doing something that actually, they bring home, and it's very useful to the family. Our program is a partnership with the Surrey School District in Fleetwood-Port Kells. We do this at the Johnson Heights Secondary School. They have a really great kitchen there. So they have a demo area where, the coordinators can show the kids how to do it. And then there's lots of breakout areas where the kids can go and work on their creations. And I presume that there's dining involved after, once everybody has done whatever they wanted to do. The program is headquartered in Vancouver and in Manhattan. And that's kind of interesting because there's major celebrity and corporate power backing up Greg as he's done this program over the years. We've supported it for, is it 3 or 4 years, Greg?
Oh, yeah, at least.
Yeah, at least. And I wanted to give out a special shout out to Eric Harvey in our office, because when what happened last March because of the pandemic, Eric worked with Greg's people to help the program morph into something that could be delivered during the pandemic, and it was very successful. And I have kind of a feeling that we're going to have to do something fairly similar again this year, because we won't necessarily be out of the woods by the time the program is ready to fire up, although it is still going. Thanks to the extension, Greg was saying that there were some good things happening over Christmas. We have joining Greg, we have Carrisa Wong, one of the Super Chef program coordinators, and Malia Koslowsky, who's the director of the special Super Chefs, because they actually have a portion of the program for kids with special needs, which is very, very cool. So it's been a huge success. I'll just leave it to you guys to have your chat.
Yeah, thanks, Ken. I'd love to hear a little more about what you're doing, Greg, and Carrisa and Malia. Tell me how things have changed because of COVID, and how everyone's been able to adapt. Because kids are amazingly resilient, and it's just about figuring out how to make things work for them.
Well, Prime Minister, thanks for taking the time. I know you've got time.
I was warned.
However, I'm a dentist and been doing it for over 30 years. And when I first started the program, I started teaching kids or fixing their teeth. And I realized part of the problem with their teeth wasn't only just not brushing, but poor eating decisions and poor nutrition. And I said, I got to do something about this. So my friend says, what are you doing? Just be a dentist. There's no financial gain for you. But I thought this is important because bad nutrition leads to the obesity issue. And I thought, if you do the transfer of intergenerational family values through cooking is one way to deal with the obesity issue. So I started with this guy, 7 Emmy Awards for Outstanding Writing for Children's Television for Sesame Street. And he said, Greg, you can't teach kids nutrition. You got to engage them. You got to entertain them. And so that's what we did. And then we became a collection of all these experts in obesity from Yale, Harvard, Michelle Obama's team from the White House and NASA, but also Canadians. We had Dan Watts, the mayor of Surrey, and David Suzuki, and deans from the Land and Food Systems and Dentistry faculty at UBC. Ken Hardie and Randeep Sarai helped, and the Governor General Michael Jean, and also you, Prime Minister. This is a picture of you with my son, Ryan, at Bishop's University when he's on the and he thanked you for implementing the Canada Summer Job Program to create really awesome opportunities for the students to work in the summer. And awesome they were. They created programs to reach out to First Nations Health and kids most in need in the Surrey School District, the largest school district in Canada, in British Columbia. And the results speak for themselves. Our free summer camps are full every summer. We have healthy SuperChefs kids menus in over 200 Westin hotels worldwide. We have SuperChefs programs running all over the world. And us, along with community partners and federal partners, help to promote a stronger health for kids everywhere, as well as developing young, strong, community-minded leaders with interest in healthcare, education, nutrition, food security, and business.
Awesome. So tell me how this past year has been different, Carrisa.
Yeah, hello, Prime Minister. So I was one of the program coordinators at SuperChefs this year, and this year I've been working at SuperChefs for the past 6 years. It's the first time we've ever run a virtual camp. So every morning we would log in about 8:30, and just like 20 kids would already be in the waiting room because they're just so excited to have something to do during the summer. I know during quarantine, a lot of families had to stay at home, and just the demographic that we reached, a lot of parents just had to go out and work, and so a lot of these kids found a lot of joy in learning how to cook recipes with us, and we even sent them little completely prepared meal kits so that they could cook alongside their siblings, and even these little plant potteries where every day they could water their little bean plant and see that grow over the summer. So it's just been such a joy over the summer connecting with kids through Zoom, and like you said, kids were very resilient and they just had so much fun even through Zoom. So it's been a different year, but still we've been able to impact over 100 families all across Surrey this summer.
That's awesome. And Malia, how do you pronounce your name?
Malia.
Malia. Okay, so tell me about the special SuperChefs program. What is that?
Well, I had worked for SuperChefs, the regular program, for 3 summers, and at the same time I was developing a passion for working with children with special needs, and I believe that every child has the right to join in the fight against childhood obesity, and decided to create an adapted program that would be inclusive to all children. So we started that, and it's been going for 3 summers now. We were able to include children of all abilities because of our unique one-to-one support design. So that really makes it stand out from the other program, and it still has the heart and mission and values of the original SuperChefs program for kids. It's just adapted to meet their unique individual needs. So we've been doing that for 3 summers now and have impacted over 100 children over those 3 summers.
But obviously, speaking of adaptation, this year it must have been even further challenging. I mean, I know when a crisis hits or when disruption happens, it's always the most vulnerable who get knocked around. And as regular kids are trying to figure out how adapt to all things, often kids who are already facing extra barriers fall through the cracks. How have you adjusted in a more virtual world with these kids with special needs?
Yeah, it was challenging because every child is unique and has unique needs, and we make adaptations on the go when we're in person in camp. So not being able to acknowledge those needs was challenging, but we were able to give parents avenues to contact us one-on-one on Zoom or by phone as they walked through the program with their children at home. That was really helpful, and it gave us a chance to see the kids too, which was so nice. The physical aspect was challenging as well. Every child with special needs has different physical abilities, so having adapted physical activity videos, that's a big component of SuperChef camps, is engaging them in fun physical activities. So we were challenged to be creative and come up with a bunch of different ways that would be inclusive to all abilities. It was challenging as parents of children with special needs are excited to have a form of respite care when they send their kids to camp.
Yeah.
So we definitely didn't get that this summer, but we got a ton of great feedback saying that the families were so thankful to have planned programming for an entire week that they could do with their kids, and even it helped them teach their children's siblings to work with the child with special needs, which it was a big gift to a lot of families.
Now, obviously, you scrambled, all three of you, over this past summer and past year to try and adapt. Hopefully, this coming summer will be better, slightly more normal. It still probably won't be fully back to normal. So, what are you guys planning for this coming season, and how have you adjusted to that?
Well, Prime Minister, this is too an important program for our community not for it to happen during COVID. So we are planning to go ahead and do virtual or live programming. We have been very supported by the federal government through the Emergency Community Support Fund. That was instrumental in being able to adapt our program to go online, as well as accessing funds from the Canada Emergency Benefit Account. So all these were wonderful tools that we used from the federal government to make sure that our program was alive and well in the community. Carrisa, do you agree?
For sure. I think a lot of the feedback that we received was that parents were able to have 2 weeks where their meals were planned. And I think especially during a pandemic, it can be really stressful. So the funds that we received from the government was really helpful in creating these cute little curated packages that kids could not only have fun in the kitchen, but also give back to their families during a really tough time.
And are those, like, what kinds of things are you going to do differently this coming summer, or do more of from last that you would have liked to have done last summer, but we're scrambling? Like, what now that you have a little more time, and I guess secondly, what have you learned through this pandemic that you might just continue even once we're out of the virtual connections and into real, into a post return to more normality?
Well, interestingly, we are working on a program, a train-the-trainer program for Columbia University, because they've seen the interest and the benefits of our program, and they asked us to train their teachers, college dietetic interns to deliver this program. So 3 of our coordinators are working on that at UBC right now, and so that we can push this program out and scale it in the burbs of New York City. And this is a great learning opportunity for the students as well. So, as well as continuing our regular programming in Surrey and beyond.
Any other thoughts, things that you think I should have on my mind as we move through this pandemic and back to normal? Hopefully, a newer or better normal. I think obviously the need to make sure that everyone is properly supported, particularly the most vulnerable, is going to be one of the lessons of this pandemic. But the strength of community also really comes through. How people have chosen, okay, we're in a crisis, we better pull together, and then it's like, wow, pulling together is really good, whether or not there's a crisis. So let's keep that up.
Yeah, Prime Minister, I'm a little crazy, and sometimes I get scrambled between kitchens and what I have to do for SuperChefs. But, I think it's important we change people's lives, and I want to invite you and your family to come and visit our SuperChefs cookery camps anytime you want, because we'll teach you how to make the best pizza and engage you in the long noodle contest. And, like I said to my kids, the best thing is a good chef is never without friends.
Well, I will certainly say that one of the toughest things this pandemic has been not being able to get out west the way I usually do. For me, it's a part of the world that I love so much. And coming out and meeting new friends and spending time with people and discovering great new initiatives is something I love to do. Plus, I love cooking and I love kids. So all those things together means that we're definitely going to have to try and set things up so I can spend some time with you guys when we start traveling again. And I'm really, really keen, not just because I want to spend time with all of you, but also because obviously if I'm traveling again, it's because we'll be through this difficult time.
It's great. Well, listen, I think we probably need to call it for time. I gather that the country is sitting outside the door wondering what's happening to the Prime Minister at this point. But really appreciate you taking the time, sir, and of course to Greg and Malia and I'm sorry, Carrisa. Well done. Keep it up. We'll be, of course, working very closely with you to make sure that your program is well supported as we get into this new season.
All right. Well, listen, I really, really appreciate you guys spending a little time with me. Thank you so much, Carrisa. Thank you so much, Malia. Thank you, Greg, for all your leadership on this. And Ken, as always, thanks for connecting us to great leaders in Surrey and beyond.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
Take care.